She said whenever you're ready.
Okay, we're ready?
Yes.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I would now call to order the meeting of the directors of the Erie Canal Harbor Development Corporation for Monday, December 14th, 2015. I'd like to note for the record that this meeting is being webcast. Directors have received the relevant materials in advance of today's meetings and are free to ask questions at any time. Consistent with the policy of our parent corporation, we welcome public comment on items on the following agenda. After each item is presented and any comments are received from the directors, we will allow members of the public to provide comments. All comments should be limited to 2 minutes and should only address the item that is under consideration. Before we begin with the substantive portion of the meeting, I'd like to ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict with respect to any of the items on today's agenda.
Sure.
Hearing none, the foregoing has been noted. Our first order of business is the approval of minutes of the directors' meetings for both February 9th and March 23rd. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, approved. Thank you. The next item is Mr. D, the corporation to enter into a contract for construction of the water bike ferry improvements at 32 Furman Boulevard. Tom?
Thank you very much. The contract that we're talking about is with Pinto Construction, and it's a construction contract not to exceed $825,000. And the funding comes from New York Power Authority. From a background standpoint, ECHDC and ESD adopted and affirmed back in December of 2014 the GPP. After that, in January 2015, the RFP for the design services was issued. And then in March of 2015, we hired DiDonato as the designer for the project. And then in October of 2015, we put an advertisement out for bidders. And then on November of 2015, bids were received. A total of 5 bids were received on November 12th and read publicly. ECHDC and DiDonato interviewed 4 bidders and de-scoped the apparent low bidder on November 19th, 2015. It was the recommendation of DiDonato to award the contract to Pinto Construction Services, who was found to be the lowest responsible bidder. The scope of work, it's, I guess maybe I just comment too on their number. It was slightly above our engineer's estimate, but we think it's a good number. It was vetted in terms of with DiDonato to compare their estimate with the low bidder, and so we're confident in the ability of the contractor to get this project done. The scope of work is to enhance the recreational use of the outer harbor and canal side, as well as enhance the pedestrian bicycle trail system along the waterfront. We had a great success last year with the bike ferry, and what this does obviously is enhance the outer harbor area and includes installation of paved pedestrian pathway, extending the access gangway through the portion of an existing already disturbed gravel asphalt paved boat storage area, and then terminating at Furman Boulevard. Additional site amenities and aesthetic features will also be installed, including but not limited to signage, benches, planters, bike racks, and accessory structures. So this really makes this a much better customer experience, something that we had, all the bikers and folks that used the bike ferry last year. This will make it so much nicer for them once they land on the other side at the outer harbor. So the project is slated to begin in February of 2016 and be completed by May 14, which will be ready for a Memorial Day opening. So we're excited about the time frame. We think it's a tight time frame, but we'll work with the contractor to make that happen. An overall MBE participation goals, 30%. So we have contractors listed there who are on the subcontracting team. And the requested action, the directors are requested to, 1, make a determination of responsibility with respect to the proposed contractor. 2, authorize the corporation to enter into a contract with Pinto Construction Services for the amount not to exceed $719,212 plus $105,788 construction contingency for a total contract amount of $825,000. 3, authorize the corporation to enter the necessary permits and/or access agreements with NIPA for use of the property. And 4, authorize the corporation to enter into a notice to proceed with Pinto Construction Services for the amount not to exceed $80,000. And 5, take all related action. Recommendation: based on the foregoing, I recommend approval of the requested actions.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions or comments from directors?
I just have a layout question. I took the bike ferry last year, and it seemed like we backed up to a dock there. Is the dockage going to change?
The dockage will change, yes, sir.
Okay, in what way specifically?
Specifically, I don't have the drawing in front of me, but I can show you the drawing afterwards. We're changing, I think we're moving about 7 docks that are existing and just making this a better situation as the water ferry comes over. It makes it more accessible for the public. It makes it easier to get on and off of the bike ferry.
I may have a letter in here. It's taking a while to download.
I'll look at it after.
Okay. Mr. County Executive.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have a particular question in regards to the project. I'm very glad to see, after being de-scoped, the most responsible bidder was chosen. I did have a question. In all these projects, this is a general question, in all these projects, we approve a contract in an amount not to exceed contract amount plus a construction contingency, which is usually around 17-18%. I don't think we ever see the final cost for some of these projects if they actually came in under the original budget, if they come in over. Would it be possible going forward to provide once that project is closed to the members of the board, an actual cost so we know whether we actually came in under budget, over budget? I know sometimes on some things there's requests to come back, but on the vast majority of them, we sort of never hear what happens after the project's closed. Could that be done not only starting with this one, but once we look at recently?
It could be, absolutely. I mean, the answer is that none of them go over. If they go over budget, they have to come back. So the assumption from my side has always been if you're under budget, everybody's pretty happy about that. And so, but if you'd like to see more of the data, that's always available.
My issue is not so much with, I know if you have to become an over budget, you got to come back and get approval, but
correct.
How many of them actually meet the original contract? Let's say this one here, 719. Because as long as it's below the 719 plus the construction contingency, you would not have to come back. I'm sure. Right. How many of them actually fall in that? How many do not require even using the construction contingency?
I would say almost none, because you have, as an element of construction, you always have contingency. Whether it's errors and omissions, or whether it's inconsistencies, or whether it's latent conditions, or whether it's scope changes, contingencies are put in historically for that reason. There always are changes. So some of that money is always spent, and whenever we're over, as I said before, whenever we're over budget, we do have to come back to the board.
We can get you that recap, though.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay. Anything else from any other directors? Any comments or questions from the public? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve. So moved. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Items carried. Thank you very much. Tom will now discuss the City of Buffalo's Opportunity Pledge. This item is being presented for information only, and no vote will be required. Tom?
Yeah, we have all this in front of us here, and this is a signing today that this has been something we've been talking about for some time now, and always from ECHDC's perspective, we always welcome the opportunity to have more diversity and have an inclusive environment. So I think this is a good thing, and I know that as we've talked about it at some of our meetings, that both Robert, yourself, and some other board members have talked about the importance of this. So I just think that in terms of the City of Buffalo, in terms of the population, in terms of the work we're trying to do, there's absolutely no downside to this. This is all great stuff. and that, recognizes that working together will increase participation, and it will build a better and stronger city. So that's why it's here in front of us today. It's an action I think that we all should support.
Mr. Mayor?
Well, first, let me just ask the staff to put up the Opportunity Pledge banner. I want to thank Governor Andrew Cuomo and all of the members of this board for your willingness to support and sign the Buffalo Opportunity Pledge. The values of the Buffalo Opportunity Pledge are support for diversity, inclusion, and equity. I know it's something that the governor and this board have certainly strived for, have worked for, and we are making great strides in this community in reflecting the diversity of the community, in being inclusive as a community, and understanding the importance of equity in driving the community forward and building a community where not just some benefit from the great economic opportunity that we're seeing in Buffalo right now, but where all people can benefit from that economic opportunity. I know that this board has been discussing signing the Opportunity Pledge for quite some time. I know that this board also has worked very diligently on minority and women business enterprise participation issues, on minority and female workforce issues. This is an extension of the commitment of this board, an extension of the commitment of the governor. I'm very pleased that this pledge signing is going to take place today. To date, since I established the Buffalo Opportunity Pledge, almost 4,100 individuals have signed the pledge directly, which is growing on a daily basis. 172 different organizations, corporations, educational institutions in this community have signed the pledge, which represent about 52,000 people in our community. So I thank all of the board members and staff for your commitment, and certainly I thank Governor Cuomo for his commitment to diversity, inclusion, and equity.
Great, thank you. At the conclusion of the meeting, we can step over and we'll be happy to sign that. Lastly, Tom, your president's report.
Thank you. On our quest for continuous improvement, we opened the ice on November 23rd, almost a full week before last season. We also enjoyed the holiday celebration that took place on December 4th. That event was a spectacular event and attracted approximately 5,000 people that night with great skating and programming. It was a well-received event to fully bring our winter program to the city's attention with various activities to keep people engaged throughout the season. The positive energy and happiness of the visitor could be felt throughout the entire venue. I'd like to report that we're absolutely ecstatic with the response we are receiving from the public. As of today, we already have reached the 12,250 skater count, with constant posts to social media from happy visitors, and we're on track to easily surpass last year's attendance. It should be noted that 12,250 is 12,250 more than last year because we're open now before we were as of last year. So I think we're in great shape. Today there's a gone fishing sign up on the ice, but that's just fine because everybody's out there wearing shorts and short sleeves. But the fact that we're so far ahead of pace is something that I think we should celebrate. We've also had several improvements to add to the customer experience. Food, we get a lot of comments from our customers about food. I'd like to note that there's probably 20 to 22 restaurants within a 2 to 3 block area. Soon we'll have the pizza plant, and I know the City of Buffalo has the Hatch expansion, which is another project that we're looking forward to. We also have the Winter Pavilion, Panorama on 7 at the Marriott, and food trucks have enhanced the district. warm, heated tents in our winter pavilion, which will comfort skaters and our visitors. We have better queuing this year and crowd control. We encourage season passes to help with the queuing. We have nightly activity with open mic and trivia nights. And we'll continue this holiday spirit with 12 days of Santa Claus. He may be wearing shorts today, but that's fine. And Santa will be on site every day from now until December 23rd. And as they visit our website, canalsidebuffalo.com, for our schedule. Trivia night, karaoke in the winter pavilion. And I'll say the other thing that's really interesting is to watch the parade of cars going in and out of the district to view the illumination project. That's an illumination project that's up for 365 days a year. And people are lining the historic streets to catch a glimpse. And it's quite a treat because it's almost like people going to the drive-in movies, and it just adds to the vitality of the district. From a design and planning and construction, permanent extension of the Central Wharf is a project that's underway, project that we voted on some time ago, and improvements to the beach, extension of the historic boardwalk, extension of the historic railroad railing, safety improvements. There are a lot of tripping hazards out there that are being eliminated, and the replacement of damaged wood. The project's about 80% complete, and it also opens up access to the water, which is interesting. If anybody remembers walking down that boardwalk, you'd have to tuck back out away from the water, and now when this is opened up, we'll have our number one guiding principle: public access to the water's edge will be enforced in terms of being able to be on the water. So really happy about that. Today we talked about the construction for the bike ferry over on the Outer Harbor, so that's a great project as well. Children's Museum schematic design is due tomorrow. So again, we're moving, and things are just constantly in motion. And we have lots of interesting, too, the public activity on Ohio Street. So it's good to see Ohio Street. That corridor is attracting new businesses on a regular basis. So we're thrilled with that. So I would just say every day you can go to Canalside's website, find something to do for all ages. This year we've really proved that we're a year-round destination, and we embrace the weather, we embrace the winter. We need the winter. I'd say in 2 or 3 more days we'll have it back. But we're really not losing any sleep over it. We're losing any ground. We've had a lot of skating and we've made a lot of progress in terms of getting people to the site. People are excited, but right now they're just doing other things like jogging and biking and having fun with the good weather. So enjoy that. We'll be back skating in a day or two, and look forward to a great, great winter.
Great. Thank you, Tom. Any questions or comments? Okay, and now that we're no longer having we have no further business, I will call a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Yes, we will stick around. Sign the.
Yep.